Hi guys, my name is Kamal Rajpurohit and I'm recording this video for those people who are currently working in technical support job. Maybe it's a BPO job or maybe it's a call center job, and those who wants to switch from technical support to the IT development or software development job. So I'm going to share my experience, and along with that I'm going to share the path with you so that you guys can also switch from a technical support job to a development job, software development job. So let's start. Is first thing is you should have a burning desire or burning need is must if you want to go from technical support development job. First thing is that you should feel uncomfortable in your current job, then only you will switch to other job for a greater success. So first thing is, if we talk about the software development, it is a very kind of a generic term. Software development is a very generic term. So you have first need to decide that where you want to go, whether you want to go into the front end development or whether you want to go into the back end development or you want to be a full stack developer. So you just need to learn those, take an idea of those things, and then you need to google all those terms which I just told you: front end development, back end development, and full stack development. First you need to decide from these things that where you want to go, but in all those three things there is one thing is common, which is JavaScript. So first step you can take is you can start learning JavaScript. And if I talk about my experience, I started learning JavaScript and I went into the front end development. I was also working in technical support jobs for a very long period of time. From there, I started learning JavaScript, and then I started learning Node.js, which is a backend development technology. But later on, I find that I'm not that much interested into the backend development, into the Node.js. Then I started learning React.js, which is a front-end development tool. So that is how you want to discover. That is how you have to hit and try the things so that you will find your interest in one of the technologies. So that is what I did. I just started learning JavaScript, and after that I just learned HTML and CSS, and then I gave interviews in another organization. And as the interviews went on, I just learned about the questions, what are the kind of a questions they are asking. I just did some projects from my own from the internet. In the YouTube there are many projects are available for free, so you can also learn the projects from there. But first thing is that you need to decide from these three things. I mean from my perspective, I'm just telling whether you want to go into front end development, back end development, or in the full stack development. Full stack development is a kind of a combination of front end and development, where a full stack developer is responsible for front end and back end. So front end development is if you are very confused and if you want to go into development job, from my experience, I decided front end development because whatever the coding I do, I can see on the screen. Whatever the fonts I change, whatever the coding which I do from on my system, I can see on the screen on the browser. But in the backend development, it is not that case. So whatever the coding you do, you cannot see the output or outcome of it. So suppose in the front end development is like when I change some kind of a CSS property of a item, or when I change something in the logic in the JavaScript, I can see in the browser that the color is changed, the logic is changed. So that is how I that really fascinates me, and that's really interests me. So that's why I went into the front end development. So likewise, you can also discover your interest into the IT, so that you can also find the interesting things into the IT and then go into the development jobs. And after that, once you learn the technologies, like you can, for the front end development, what are the technologies is needed is HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. So these are the three languages, but more prominently is JavaScript. You have to learn JavaScript very nicely, thoroughly. You can learn basics of HTML, CSS, but JavaScript you have to give it a very good effort to go into the interviews, because most interview questions are put up on JavaScript, and very few questions are put up from HTML and CSS. That is the reason you just need to more focus on. Suppose in a week, if you are giving 3 days to JavaScript, then you just need to give one day to HTML and CSS. So that is how you can learn. So 3:1 you can take. I mean, 3 for JavaScript and 1 is for HTML and CSS combinedly in a week. That is how you can design your timetable. And once you learn the JavaScript, HTML and CSS, then you can take any framework. So I took React framework because React is basically a JavaScript library which is used to develop the user interfaces. So I just started learning React JS, and then I started giving those interviews. And happened is, when you give some interview, then you will get some kind of a knowledge out of it, that okay, what they asked and what kind of a questions they are putting up to you, even if you don't have experience. So after learning these three languages, and with the React.js framework, I'm talking about the front end development right now. After learning these things and after learning a React.js framework, you can take any kind of a project. You can start doing any kind of a project from YouTube. And once you have done some kind of a project, then you have a little bit of knowledge, and you have quite a good knowledge about the things. And then what you can do is, then you can start giving the interviews. And once you will face the interviews, then you will get the kind of a questions, what are the questions they are asking. And then you just need to note down those questions. And as it progress, and as you know, and what are the questions, and then you have to decide that which are the questions you are able to answer very correctly, and which you are not aware about. So you just need to Google those answers, and everything you just need to write. So whenever you give an interview, make sure that you just note down all the questions. And the next time when you give the interview, you should have the answers ready for all the previous interviews questions. So that will really help you to crack any kind of an interview. Another thing is, just apply more and more for the jobs in multiple from multiple channels, whether it could be a Naukri.com or LinkedIn. So you just need to apply it from multiple channels, so that you have a good opportunity. And so that is how you have to give the interviews. And once you start giving the interviews, then you will get the knowledge that okay, so how much what are the questions, what you are good at, and what needs improvement. So you just need to work on the areas where you are lacking. And so it's kind of a gradual process. It might take 1 year to learn all those things. So that is really very necessary if you want to go into a technical support job to a development job. So you have to give some time. You have to give a daily time, and you just need to maintain the consistency. 2 to 3 hours you have to spend time. You have to manage your manage your routine. You have to break down the routines. So these 3 or 4 languages which I have to learn, I mean, most prominently are JavaScript and React.js. So these are the things which I have to learn, and accordingly how I'm going to divide my time. So it might take you around 6 to 7 months, you can say, is 1 year, to complete these things, and you will be ready for the interviews. Because the thing is, more and more which you practice, then more and more you learn. So that is how coding is, that is how development is. So that is what I tell. First, if I sum up, is first you should have a burning desire that current job is very uncomfortable, I want to get out of this job. And that is the first point. And the second point is, you just need to figure out which language you want to learn, which interests you most, from front-end development to from back-end development or a full-stack development. So in my case, it was a front-end development, so I learned JavaScript. Even if you want to go into back-end development, then also you have to learn JavaScript. And along with that JavaScript, for back-end development, it is Node.js. For front-end development, the framework is React.js. So in my case, I learned React.js along with JavaScript. And then third thing is, you just need to give the more and more interviews. You have to just need to apply for more and more jobs, and more interviews you have to attend, so that you will know what kind of a questions they are asking, and then you have to prepare from those questions. And you have to improve yourself with every interview. So, and after giving maybe 10 to 15 interviews, there is a very strong possibility that you will crack one of the interviews. Thank you.